Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Last week I shared a video with you guys on everything that I got for about $75. I went to Aldi's and my discount store. Y'all know I love my discount store. They have some super amazing deals and that's how I'm able to save so much money every month. My budget for the month is $300 and then I have like $100 of just in and outs or like stock ups. So anytime I see like a really good stock up price, then I'll buy a whole bunch of it. That way I'm not paying retail for a whole bunch of stuff. So that's kind of my plan for the whole month of February. So last week I shared with you everything that I got for $75. I think it was about $80-ish. And this video I'm going to be sharing with you everything that I made for 7 whole days. I am doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now breakfast, I wasn't the best at recording all of those, but I am showing you 7 whole days of everything that I was able to make, and we were just fine. We didn't need anything else. So hopefully we're able to stay within our budget for the whole month, and I hope that you guys like this video. If you do like this video, give me a thumbs up and let's get started. To start us off, I wanted to make some French toast, so I wanted to try using this French loaf and just kind of do something a little bit different. Normally I just do regular bread, but I wanted to try it out with this French loaf. And so I'm just going to cut these up, and then I'm going to add about 3 to 4 eggs in a bowl. And usually I will add in either milk or heavy whipping cream. Half and half is usually what I add in when I'm making French toast. I'm going to put in just a little bit of vanilla and then a lot of cinnamon because I like my French toast really cinnamony. I'm going to give this a really good stir, and then I'm going to get ready to put it onto my big skillet that I have. I think I make like, I don't know, 15 different little slices here. And so this definitely feeds our family of 6, and we definitely had leftovers for, I believe all of us were able to eat this again because each person's only going to have 1 or 2. So this was the best French toast that I've ever made, like homemade at least. It was so, so good. And I definitely recommend getting like a French loaf and doing it this way versus the bread or even like the thicker like Texas toast bread. Like this was it. This was it for us. We loved it. Okay, for lunch this day, I'm just making some creamy chicken gravy over rice. I don't really know what you want to call it, but I have this chicken, and then I'm going to put that at the bottom of my crock pot. I have this chicken gravy mix I'm going to put over the top of that chicken, and then I have cream of chicken soup that I'm going to put in the crock pot as well. And I just have like some homemade broth that I had recently made, and I'm just going to put in maybe a 1/4 of a cup of some broth just to give it a little bit of juice on the bottom of that, just so it's not like getting scorched on the bottom. I'm going to let this cook on low for about 6 hours. Once it's all done and cooked through, I'm going to get my meat masher. It comes out pretty thick, so if you want to add in some chicken broth or some dairy products, usually I like to add in like some milk or half and half. That'll make it nice and creamy, but still not so super thick. And then I'm going to add in some parsley because obviously I love parsley. But parsley is really good with this chicken dinner. And then I'm going to pair this with some green beans, and then I'm going to put this over rice. So here I'm just making some green beans. I used to do canned green beans, but I am loving these frozen green beans. I don't know. They just taste so much more fresh and they're just more delicious. So I'm going to put in just a little bit of water and then maybe about 1.5 tablespoons of butter, and just kind of let that cook through for about 10 minutes or so. And then I paired that chicken, I put it on top of that rice, and this is what it looks like when it's all done. It is very, very delicious. Super, super good. All right, on day 2, I used this chocolate chip muffin mix, and I actually made some pancakes with it. I think I definitely prefer making muffins out of it, but these actually turned out really well. And so it's definitely a really good alternative because you just have to add water. So for $1, you can just make some pancakes. So it's super cheap. I'm going to go ahead and just add in the water. We're going to make probably about 10 to 15 different pancakes. Just depends on how big or small you want your pancakes to be. But you don't even need syrup with these because the muffin mix, it just, I don't know, it just tastes really good with the chocolate chips. So you don't really need syrup at all. For dinner on the second day, I wanted to make some cheeseburgers, and I like to drench my cheeseburgers, my meat, in some Worcestershire sauce. So that's what you see me doing here. I like to put it on the tops and bottom. And then I like to heavenly season all of my burgers. I have like some different patties here just because I'm just kind of grabbing what's in my freezer, using up what I have. So, I had 4 patties that were already pre-made, and then I just grabbed a pound of ground beef and made each of those about a third of a pound. So I'm going to put a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to put some garlic powder. I have this Meat Church, I think it's called the Holy Cow seasoning. And if you guys do not cook with Meat Church, you really, really should. My husband grills with Meat Church products all the time, and it's like his favorite. It's our favorite. It's just really, really flavorful, really great stuff. And so I'm going to use a lot of that. I use minced onion. I'm going to use some salt and pepper as well. So I'm just really, really seasoning those. And then I'm going to let it sit out for probably about 20 to 30 minutes just to kind of let it marinate in all of those seasonings. And then I can get started cooking. Before I'm going to make my cheeseburgers, I'm going to get everything ready, all my sides ready. So I'm going to have some tater tots, some french fries, just kind of cooking up what's in my freezer here, trying to get rid of some stuff. I'm also going to be making some baked beans, and I actually love like barbecue baked beans. That's my favorite way to make them. So I usually, if I'm not making them homemade, then I'll just use a can like this and then add some barbecue sauce and some brown sugar. They're not really going to be healthy, but they're going to be delicious. That's how I like to make them. So that's what you see here. And then I'm going to give that a really good stir, and then I'm letting my cast iron skillet preheat to the left there. And so now that everything is preheated, I'm going to put my cheeseburgers on that cast iron skillet. I would definitely use my grill, but it was like snowy outside. So I think it was snowy or it was icy, one of the two, where I didn't want to go outside because I didn't think the grill would even go up to temperature. It was like super, super cold. So I'm just going to let these cook and then flip them. I'm going to add some cheese because you can't just have a hamburger. That's gross. It's got to have some cheese on it. So, and then I like to put paper towels on my plate. And then I like to put my cheeseburgers on my paper towel just to let that paper towel soak up all that excess grease because I don't want my hamburger buns to be super greasy. And here's the final product. It's super good. I don't know, just a really good meal. We were kind of all in the mood for cheeseburgers, and so I always like to have baked beans. Usually I like to make potato salad with my baked beans, but I didn't have time that day. All right, so for day 3 for breakfast, I'm going to be making some like Bisquick sausage and egg muffins kind of a thing. So I just need 4 eggs, and then I need a cup of Bisquick. I need a third a cup of milk, and then a whole cup of cheddar cheese, and that's it. I'm just going to give that a good stir, and then, and my beef. I kind of need my sausage, I guess. That kind of like helps make the whole sausage muffins kind of a thing. Can't forget the meat. Okay, so I'm going to give that a good stir, and then definitely I always spray in my muffin tin just because stuff like this, it's going to stick really easily, so you definitely want to spray it. But you don't have to stir this for very long. It doesn't take very long to make at all. I'm just going to line them up. I think this made about 15 muffins, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it is 12. I think I kind of overfill them and it ends up being 12. But anyways, I'm going to put this in the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until they're nice and golden brown on top. And that's it. These are really, really good. You can just put them in the, you can put them in a Ziploc baggie and put them in the refrigerator, or you can put them in the freezer. This is one of my daughter's favorite breakfasts, which is great because we're always in a hurry for her going to school. So it's great that we can just grab these out of the refrigerator, put them in the microwave for 20 seconds, and she has breakfast. It's great. All right, now I'm going to be making some chicken pot pie, and I had made this in a previous video, but it was during the same week that I'm making all this, but this was for another video, but it goes along since I technically did make it last week. I'm going to make some chicken pot pie, so I'm just going to cut up a couple potatoes here, and we're going to boil up those potatoes. I have some chicken that I had cooked in the crock pot, and so that's what all is in that bowl. You definitely don't want to overcook these potatoes, though. You just want them fork tender, basically, but definitely don't overcook them. And then I have some pie crust here that I'm going to be using. I'm going to flatten it out using a rolling pin, just really trying to get it as thin as possible. I find that when they come in that box, they're actually pretty thick, and I don't know, I just don't prefer it super thick, so that's why I'm going to get my rolling pin out, my Christmas rolling pin. And I have my pie plate. I'm just going to put it at the very bottom there. You don't have to spray it or anything like that. I didn't spray it and it didn't stick, so it should be fine. And then I'm going to get this all laid out. I am not a cake decorator. I'm not very good at decorating, so please don't judge me when it comes to my pie skills here. I'm going to grab my big bowl that had my chicken in it, and I'm going to grab the potatoes because they should be done by now. I'm going to dump that into the big bowl, and then I am going to put in my 2 cans of creamy chicken soup because this is a lot of chicken, so I definitely need 2 cans of creamy chicken soup. I also have some chicken broth that I had made from using that chicken in the crock pot that I'm going to be using some for that. I also have some vegetables. I'm going to end up using that whole bag. I think it's like a 20 ounce, if I'm not mistaken. It's a 20-ounce bag of frozen mixed vegetables. I'm going to go ahead and use that whole thing. This makes a ton. I used all of this, and I was able to put this all in the pie pan, and then I was able to make like 4 more smaller chicken pot pies that I was able to throw into the freezer. So I'm also gonna add in some seasonings. I have some oregano, I have some thyme, I have rosemary, black pepper. I think that's all that I put in here, but just all these different seasonings to give it a lot more flavor. Just because I'm using basic ingredients, you're going to want to add in a lot more seasonings just to kind of amp up the flavor. That way it tastes super good. Oh yeah, and I use garlic powder. I was like, oh, there's one more. But I'm going to go ahead and give this a good stir, and then I'm going to go ahead and just put it into my pie plate, and we'll be ready to cook it. Okay, and like I said earlier, I am not good at decorating. Craftiness is not my thing. I'm just, I don't know, not creative like that. So I have no idea how to really
pinch these like the sides for the pie crust. I don't know, just kind of doing the best I have, the best that I'm able to work with here. I'm gonna get a knife and kind of just poke a little X in the middle of the pie. I'm gonna cook this at 375, I believe it's 375, for about 45 minutes until it's nice and golden brown on top. And this is what it looks like. My husband loves chicken pot pie. He loves it when I make it, so I try to make it pretty frequently for him. My husband requested that I make some chicken tenders. That's one of his favorite things that I make here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the rest of this oil in my cast iron skillet. And I'm basically just going to batter up my chicken tenders. I like to kind of mix it with some eggs. So I'm going to put the chicken tenders in the batter, and then I will put it in the eggs, and then I'll put it back in the batter just to give it 2 layers. I don't know, we kind of like it where it's a little bit extra breaded. You could definitely, instead of just doing it once, putting in the eggs once, you can put in the egg twice. That way you have even more batter, but we find that this consistency is about perfect for us. We don't like things super breaded, so that's just kind of our preference. But this is one of my husband's favorite recipes. This batter is like half flour, half, I think it's like Louisiana chicken fry mix. I'm not sure what it's called, but I'll leave a link in the description so you guys know exactly what batter that I use. But we love it. It is super good. And sometimes it can be kind of spicy, but this time it wasn't really too bad. So, but it kind of takes a while to make these chicken strips, so that's why I don't make them too terribly often, but it is super, super good. I paired it with some mashed potatoes and gravy and some corn. All right, day 4 breakfast. I wanted something a little bit more hearty and filling, so I'm going to make some breakfast bowls. I'm just going to grind up this pound of sausage that I got from the discount store for $2. That's right, y'all. It's actually really hard to find. Even like the great value is like $2.30 something, so I'm pretty excited about name brand sausage for $2. I had that pineapple that I showed you guys in the last video. We used that up. I pretty much ate the whole thing by myself because I love pineapple. It's so, so good. My kids were getting mad at me because I wouldn't share very much. But here are our breakfast bowls, just some eggs, some sausage, and some cheese. Super simple, but super delicious. I love egg or burrito bowls. They're one of my favorites. And then for lunch was super simple. The kids just had some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with banana. I think my son had like an orange because he doesn't like bananas. And then dinner, my daughter's super excited about beans and rice. But it was just leftover. So she had beans and rice. I think my son was the only person who had chili. But, or no, I guess I had something different too. But that's just what we had. We just kind of had a leftover night. So my daughter's a dork. All right, day 5. I don't think I recorded breakfast, but this is our lunch. We just had chicken nuggets with some French fries that I had in my freezer. I actually had like a lot of chicken nuggets still in my freezer, so I was just kind of going through my freezer, seeing what we can make. It was a snow day that day, so all my kids are home, and I didn't really want to cook because snow days are the best. And for a dinner, I am going to be making this like chicken, I don't even know what it's called, chicken and stuffing type of a casserole. Not really sure, but I went ahead and chopped up about a pound, and maybe it was about 2 pounds of chicken, and I'm just going to cook up this chicken, always using my olive oil. I'm going to cook this up, season it with some salt and pepper, and then, this recipe is super, super simple. It's basically just chicken, cream of chicken soup, vegetables, and then a box of stuffing. Like, it's so, so simple, which is great because we were kind of in a hurry. I had things and places to go that evening, so I needed a dinner that was going to be very, very simple for us. So this kind of worked out. So I'm seasoning up my chicken right here, and to the right you kind of see my pan, but I'm kind of preheating that pan, and I'm going to get some boiling water going. I have about 1.5 cups of water here that I'm going to boil. I'm going to put in my stuffing mix once it's come to a complete boil. Give that a good stir, and that's it. That's all that I need to do for this meal. I'm going to take it over, and we're basically just going to put it on top of our chicken mixture. All right, I'm going to add my chicken here to my 9x13 pan. And I did go ahead and use my olive oil spray just because I don't really want anything to stick. I don't think anything would stick. Doesn't seem like that type of meal, but I just wanted to make sure. And then I'm going to put in a 12-ounce bag of mixed vegetables. It can come up to 2 to 3 cups, or you can use 12 to 16-ounce bag, whichever you prefer. I have this can of cream of chicken soup. I'm going to give that a good stir along with my sour cream. I used about 1/3 cup of sour cream as well. Giving that a good stir, and then we're just going to put our stuffing mix on top of that. Throw it in the oven, 350 for about 30 minutes, and boom, dinner's ready. And it was very, very simple, nothing hard or whatsoever. I love these casseroles. I love making casseroles, and I love easy dishes like this. All right, and here's what it looks like after it's been cooking for about 25 to 30 minutes. The stuffing is super crispy on the very edges there, and so instead of it being super moist and soft like it was when I made it like a little bit extra crunchy, which is really great with the chicken and the vegetables. This I would never have thought to put together, but it was actually really good, and for the most part, it's pretty low carb. Not too bad. I really liked it. All right, on day 6 for breakfast, I had another burrito bowl. Like I said earlier, I love, love, love burrito bowls. They're just simple and very filling. For lunch, I made this like poor man's lasagna. And so these are all the ingredients I'm going to need. Some rotini, some sausage, mozzarella, and then some spaghetti sauce. And so I'm going to start off by cooking up my rotini noodles in some boiling water. I need about a whole box worth, or about 2 to 3 cups worth. And I'm just going to cook that till al dente. And then while that's cooking, I'm going to get started on my sausage. I have Italian sausage that I wanted to cook up. You can definitely make this with like some just ground beef, breakfast sausage, Italian sausage, whatever you choose. I really like using breakfast sausage and Italian sausage, especially if this is like an Italian meal. The Italian sausage just has so much flavor to it. I don't know, we've really been enjoying cooking with sausage versus the ground beef just because they add so much more flavor. I'm going to put that ground sausage at the very bottom of my 9x13 pan here. And we're going to just kind of put our noodles on top of that once they are done cooking. And then when the noodles are done cooking, I'm going to go ahead and put my sauce. Like, this is super, super simple. We had this when we were kind of just got back from being out and about all day, so this was very simple to be able just to hurry up and throw together, put it in the oven, and it's all ready. I put some Italian seasoning on top of this, trying to give it as much flavor as it possibly can since we're just using very plain and basic ingredients. And then I'm going to put some mozzarella cheese on top of that. I put this in the oven at 375 for about 25 minutes. I just want to make sure that that mozzarella is nice and cooked through and nice and melty. And that's it. We got to enjoy this 25 minutes later, and everyone liked it. Even my husband, who is not a spaghetti fan, he said it was much better, but he said it was much better just because of the sausage. I guess I need to start making spaghetti with sausage for him so he'll eat it. Spaghetti is like one of my favorite meals ever. I just love, love, love spaghetti. But here, I'm just going to put it in the oven, and then we're going to see what it looks like in about 25 minutes. Alright, and here is what it looks like, y'all. This is super good. It's very inexpensive. That's kind of why they call it poor man's lasagna. Very inexpensive, but very, very delicious. Alright, and on the last day, I didn't record breakfast, but for lunch, we did just have some roast and mac and cheese and corn, some carrots and potatoes, and we just really enjoy having this on a Sunday, and this is when I was recording it. So that's what we had for lunch. And then for dinner, my daughter requested that we had some pancakes, some French toast, bacon, and what else? Oh, eggs. And so it was her birthday, so that's what she requested that we have for her on her birthday. So that's all that we had, and that concludes our 7 days of cooking.
Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found some like new meals and new recipes. I hope you found some inspiration as you're going grocery shopping. Make sure that you get those deals. Make sure you're shopping at the discount stores if you have an Aldi's. I wish I had a Kroger, any type of Kroger. My hometown where we're both from, they have a Dillon's, and I just wish that I had something, but I don't. I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with just having a discount store. But if you do have those type of stores, make sure you're using them and make sure you're getting those deals. Thanks so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.